Welcome back to Math Defined. I'm Mrs. C, and today we're going to learn how to use a formula to find the circumference of circles. Let's review the basic parts of a circle. A circle is the set of all points that are equal distant from a point in the center called the center point. A radius is a line segment that has one endpoint at the center and the other on the circle. A diameter is another straight line called a chord that goes all the way across the circle, passing right through the center point. Think of it as two radii. That's the plural of radius put together. So the diameter is always twice the radius, and the radius is always half of the diameter. The circumference is the distance around the outside of a circle. Sometimes people call it the perimeter of the circle. Same thing, just a different name. But how do you find the circumference of a circle? Luckily for us, there is a formula that we can use. The circumference of a circle is equal to pi times the diameter. Let's take a closer look at our circle here. We are not given the diameter, but we are given a radius of 5 centimeters. Remember, the diameter is twice the radius, so we'll need to multiply 2 times the radius, which is 5. And 2 times 5 is 10, so the diameter is 10 centimeters. And we'll rewrite our formula substituting in 10 centimeters for the diameter. C equals pi times 10. The next hurdle in this formula is pi. Pi is a super special number in math. It's the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. In simpler terms, if you divide the distance around a circle by its diameter, you'll always get pi. I could honestly make a whole other video just about pi. It's that fascinating. But for today, we're going to use the two most common approximations for pi, 3.14 and 22/7. Most people love using the decimal, 3.14, but I'm going to show you some examples where using the fraction 22/7 is actually super simple and makes your life easier. For this circle, we'll use the decimal 3.14 for pi. So to finish up our formula, we have C equals 3.14 times 10. When we multiply that out, we get 31.4. So the circumference of this circle is 31.4 centimeters. This circle has a diameter of 28 feet. Since 28 is a multiple of 7, I'm going to use the fraction 22/7 for pi this time. Don't roll your eyes. I want to show you how easy this can be. Using our formula, we have circumference equals pi 22/7 times 28. Before I multiply, I will simplify or cross-cancel 7 and 28 by dividing them both by 7. That leaves me with 1 and 4. So now I have 22 times 4, which is super easy to multiply. 22 times 4 is 88, so the circumference of this circle is 88 feet. See? Sometimes using the fraction is actually way easier. All right, let's move on to semicircles. A semicircle is just half a circle. We're not finding its circumference because that's for full circles. Instead, we're finding its perimeter, and this has a little twist. Think about it. A semicircle has a curved part, which is half of a circle's circumference, and a straight part across the bottom. That straight part is actually the diameter. To find the total perimeter, we'll need to add both the curved part and the diameter together. So we'll need to adjust our circumference formula a little bit. To find the perimeter, we'll need to find the length of the curved part of the semicircle by multiplying pi times the diameter. And then, since the curved part is half of the circumference of a circle, we'll divide this by 2. Then we can't forget to add that straight edge, which is the diameter, to get the total perimeter for the semicircle. This semicircle has a diameter of 8 meters. We'll substitute this value in place of d in our formula. Perimeter equals pi times 8 divided by 2 plus 8. I can see that I can simplify 2 and 8, leaving me with a perimeter of pi times 4 plus 8. For this particular diameter, I think it's easier to use the decimal approximation for pi. 3.14 times 4 is 12.56, and then 12.56 plus 8 is 20.56. So the perimeter of this semicircle is 20.56 meters. Here's another colorful semicircle. What's its perimeter? Remember, that's the total distance around all of its edges. We're given the radius, which is 7 yards, but our formula for the curved part uses the diameter. So let's find that first. The diameter is twice the radius, so we'll multiply 2 times 7, which gives us 14. Our diameter is 14 yards. Okay, now that we know the diameter, we can substitute this value of 14 into our formula. I'm going to simplify 2 and 14 before doing anything else. This leaves us with pi times 7 plus 14. I think it'll be easier to use 22 over 7 for pi this time. Can you see why? Yep, we can simplify the two 7s, which leaves us with just 22 plus 14. And that's easy to add in our head. 22 plus 14 is 36. So the perimeter of this semicircle is 36 yards. But what if you decided, while watching this video, to work ahead of me, and you used the decimal approximation for pi instead of the fraction? Did you get the exact same answer? Well, let's check it out. We already know the diameter is 14 yards. Substituting this into our formula gives us perimeter equals pi times 14 divided by 2 plus 14. We'll simplify the 2 and the 14, giving us pi times 7 plus 14. So far, everything looks exactly the same as before. But this time, we're going to use 3.14 for pi. Multiplying 3.14 by 7 is 21.98. And then adding 14 gives us a perimeter of 35.98 yards. That's a little different than the 36 yards we got before by using the fraction 22 over 7. Why do you suppose that is? Well, both of these two approximations for pi are exactly that, an approximation. 3.14 is slightly less than the true value of pi, and 22 over 7 is slightly more than its true value. Both values are commonly used approximations of pi in middle school math, but depending on the numbers you're working with, one approximation may make the math easier than the other, as we saw in our previous examples. But both are close enough for most practical purposes. Just be aware that depending on which one you use, your answer might vary a little, but both will be close in value. Today you learned that circumference is the distance around the outside of a circle, and the formula to find it is c equals pi times diameter. The most commonly used approximations for pi are either 3.14 or 22 over 7. And to find the perimeter of a semicircle, we use the circumference formula divided by 2, but then you can't forget to add in the diameter to get the full distance around the shape. That's often the part that students forget, so don't let it trick you. Awesome job today! If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and hey, if you made it all the way to the end, drop a green circle in the comments so I know that you are part of our Math-Defying crew. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep math awesome.